Hi guys, it's Chelsea and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm coming at you guys with my first ever Storytime video, and this story is about one of my most embarrassing moments in high school. Just a quick disclaimer on this video, I do talk about underage drinking and I in no way condone underage drinking. If you're going to drink, please do it responsibly, call an Uber, all that stuff, and let's just get into the story. So just a quick background on the story. I played soccer from when I was about 4 until I was 18 and I graduated high school. And also my dad was the coach of my soccer team and he's also the coach of my little sister's soccer team. So soccer is something that just has had like a big importance in my family's life, and you know, having your dad as your coach kind of adds like a different sort of dynamic to the whole thing. When the story takes place was between my junior and senior year of high school. So I was about 17 and I think it was in about August, so it was pretty hot outside also. And there was this tournament that my soccer team did every year. It was my favorite tournament, and I think it was probably most of my teammates' favorite tournament as well. It was in the summer, it was really hot. There's a big complex full of tons of different fields and a lot of teams played in it, so it was really, really fun. So the night before the first day of our soccer tournament, I was hanging out with some friends and I had a couple of drinks. And fast forward to the next day, it was the first day of our tournament. We're all really excited. We drove down to the field. It was probably about 2 hours from my house. It was far. And the whole drive down, I'm feeling fine. You know, we're all hanging out with some of my friends from my team. We're driving down. Everything's fine. And even when we were warming up for the game too, I was feeling fine. Everything was normal. It was good. It was really hot outside that day, but we're all having a good time warming up, goofing around, you know. As we were warming up, some of us started to notice that there was this guys team that was kind of lurking around our field. And so we were all kind of just like, oh, what are they doing? You know, like giggling, being our 17-year-old selves. And as the game's about to start, I noticed that the boys team goes and sits on the bleachers that are on our side of the field. So on like one side of the field you would have one team with their bench, and then on the other side you'd have the other team with their bench and their coaches, and then each side had like some bleachers for like the parents to sit on or whatever, anybody who wanted to watch the game could sit on. So this boys team was sitting on our side, so they were really close to us, and there was about 18 of them. It was their full roster, all the guys, all 18 of them taking over this entire like bleacher section. So naturally I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, I gotta get on my A game. I gotta play really good. I gotta impress these guys. Like, they're watching us. I have to play so good. Like, I'm gonna run my heart out. Like, I'm like making up all this stuff in my head, like of how good I have to play, how I have to impress them, and I'm like getting all freaked out and nervous, right? But the game starts and I'm starting, and I played midfield when I played soccer. Shout out if you played soccer and you played midfield, but midfield requires a ton of running, especially like I played outside mid, so I had to do a lot of running up and down the field. So also keep in mind, I don't know if you forgot about this, but I had been drinking the night before, so just keep that in mind. And so I'm trying to impress these guys once the game starts. I'm like, it's game time, I need to run my little heart out. So someone sends a ball down the sideline, I run up, like full on dead ass sprint up to it, kick it, and as soon as I kicked it, like I was running full speed on this, and like I was feeling good about myself, like I kicked that ball, like I ran up on it, but as soon as I kicked it, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. My stomach started hurting really bad. I don't know if you guys do this too, but like when I am about to throw up, like I know I'm about to throw up, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna throw up, like I feel like I'm dying right now. So right after it's like still the beginning of the game, probably like 3 minutes into the game. So I had just kicked this ball, just sprinted up, and now I'm like, oh no, I feel like I'm gonna puke. So I raised my hand because that's kind of what you do to like signal like I need to come out of the game. Like I was trying to signal my dad like, hey, like I'm gonna puke, like let me out. So I'm like raising my hand like, but the game's still in play. And so in soccer you can't like switch out players, you can't sub unless the ball goes out of bounds. So I'm like raising my hand, the game's still in play, so I'm like shit, so I'm like still kind of running, but I'm like, oh, this is not good, this is so not good. So the ball gets kicked out of bounds on our side of the field, so it gets kicked out kind of by the bleachers where all these boys are watching. And so it gets kicked out, and so I'm like, okay, it's my time. So I like kind of like sprint off the field a little bit, but I only make it like 2 inches off of the sidelines, and I just start projectile vomiting on the side of the field right in front of this whole entire like roster, all 18 of these teenage boys that were watching us, in front of all the parents, the whole soccer field. And I just started projectile vomiting right next to the field, like right after the ball goes out of bounds. 2 minutes into the game, like, really? Like, really? And while I was puking, all these guys on the bench were like, oh, damn, like, oh my god, like, all this shit, like, basically, like, making fun of me because, of course, I just threw up on the sidelines, basically in the field. Like, I basically threw up on the fucking field because I only threw up, like, 2 inches away from it in front of everybody. So, yeah, I start puking, and I think the ball, like, somehow, like people just kept, like, continuing to play, and no one subbed me out. So I went back in for another, like, 2 seconds, and then I got the ball and kicked it straight out, and then, like, basically subbed myself. I was like, I'm coming out. So, yeah, I come out of the game, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm talking to, like, my mom and dad, because they, like, came up, and they were like, why is our daughter puking? And basically, everybody on my team and the parents all thought that I was just really dehydrated, and that it was really hot outside, and I was just sprinting too hard. But in actuality, I was just really hungover because I had been drinking the night before, and I ended up throwing up in front of everyone. And so after that game, it was kind of like this inside joke of our team where, like, everybody would make fun of me for throwing up and say, like, oh, play till you puke, and, like, don't pull a Chelsea and throw up on the field in front of all these guys, like, all this stuff. So yeah, that was a super duper embarrassing moment that happened to me when I was in high school. So yeah, moral of the story is, I guess, don't drink before you have a soccer game the next day, and don't try and dead sprint to impress boys because you'll probably throw up on the field. Also, all the parents thought that I was just really dehydrated for the rest of the tournament and were giving me water and all this stuff, but in actuality, I was just hungover because I was a bad little high schooler and drank alcohol the night before. So yeah, I just thought I would come on here and share that story with you guys because I just thought of it the other day and I thought it was really funny. And yeah, if you guys like this story, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and if you would like to subscribe, I would love to have you. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!